Good morning on this fabulously sunny Northside morning. I'm Mick Fitz with another edition of CouncilMatters. Now, is there a Fianna Fail revival taking place out there in Dublin North? Well, to join me to discuss this, I'm joined in the studio with Alan Bracken, who will be running for the Fianna Fail National Executive, and he's also hoping that great things will be happening out there in Dublin Bay North. So welcome to CouncilMatters, Alan.
Thanks very much for having us.
Alan, I'm just going to, because you're a new name, not only to CouncilMatters listeners, but also to perhaps to a few Northsiders, going to ask a couple of things of how we could perhaps get to know Alan Bracken better. So I'm going to go through a list of, well, not quite multiple choice, but choice questions anyway, that hopefully will throw more light for the listeners on Alan Bracken. So, Alan, school, what represents you best, public or private?
Public.
Public school. You went to public school?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, education then. IT or university?
IT.
Okay, what you study?
I done retail enterprise management in the IT.
Excellent, excellent. Sport, GAA or rugby?
I am a GAA fan, a member of Parnells and Coolock as well. So.
There you go. There you go. You can't get really much more.
And I go to a couple of Clontarf rugby games as well, so a mix of both. So.
Okay, so you'd be what we would call bi-sporty.
Yeah.
Okay, you're sitting down having a meal. What would Alan Bracken most likely open, a beer or a wine?
Nice red wine.
There you go. Holidays, Ireland or abroad?
Oh.
What was your last one then?
My last holiday. I was in London last year, so.
That's almost domestic, really, isn't it?
Domestic, yeah.
Notice we're not going to ask what you got up to.
Yeah.
I know the answer to this one because you told me outside, but let the listeners know because I think it's always a telling one. Transport, public or private?
Public.
Well, I often say how few elected representatives you see on public transport, and I always give credit to Sean Kenny. He was the last one I saw, and that was about a year and a half ago. So you don't see them that often, do you? Yep. Healthcare, public or private?
Public.
As we say, a man after my own heart.
Yeah.
You're going out for an evening's entertainment, cinema or theatre?
Oh. Yeah. I haven't been to the cinema for the last while, to be honest. I've seen a show there. 50-50. Probably. It depends as well. It depends if I'm going out with a crowd or going out with someone. So.
Yep. Okay. News. Where do you get your news most from? Radio or TV?
Radio.
Any particular channel other than Dublin City FM, which of course I know you tune into regularly?
Yeah. I'd listen to Morning Ireland every morning. I like spitting news talk and Dublin City FM and Near FM as well, which is
we'll leave them out of it.
Yeah, we worry about them. We'd rather listen to find out what's going on in Dublin City and the camp.
Last but by no means least, where do you get most of your information from? And I'm particularly interested in this because of your generation. Newspapers or internet?
Actually, Twitter.
Do you? Well, that'd be internet, wouldn't it?
Yeah, internet, the journal.
Yeah.
A couple of internet forums.
That's pretty much what we find.
Yeah.
That my generation still buys newspapers.
Yeah.
But your generation, you might supplement it from time to time, but you get it off the internet.
I'd rather read I find the Times better than the Independent.
Yeah, I don't. I'll be perfectly honest. I don't read either of them because you can get most of your Irish news
online. Yeah.
Right, now what I'm going to actually ask you then, Alan, you're looking at getting elected to the National Executive of Fianna Fail. What exactly is the National Executive and what does it do?
The National Executive is made up, every CDC or say Dublin Bay North, Dublin Bay South would have a local person that represents, same with Kerry and Cork as well. There's another committee was Committee of 20 and it's been reformed down to Committee of 15. So it's going to be 7 males, 7 females and 1 person from Northern Ireland. And I'm hoping to get elected by all members, 1 member, 1 vote. Through Ireland, which is going to be at the RDS on April 23rd, 24th.
What powers does it actually have? Does it set policy? Does it, in what areas are its competencies?
It's the governing body of Fianna Fáil itself. I want to represent the grassroots, and I want to enhance the voice of Dublin members, and be part of the renewal of the party in Dublin and nationally as well.
Okay. What I'm going to ask you now, I had one of your colleagues, Councillor Sean Haughey, on the other day, and I said to him, as long as I was growing up, and I grew up in this part of the world quite some time ago, Fianna Fáil was synonymous with the North East of Dublin.
Yeah.
You know, first of all through Charles Haughey, you know, the Ivor Calloway was there, but Fianna Fáil always could be guaranteed to win a seat in that part of the world. Would you accept that Fianna Fáil's revival will only happen when Fianna Fáil starts to take a seat back in Dublin Bay North? That in other words, if Dublin Bay North does not go to Fianna Fáil the next time round, you have no chance of getting into government.
Well, that could be a fair comment, but Dublin Bay North, we have really good. You have Sean Haughey, Ivor Calloway, with Michael Woods as well. For ministers, we have really good people. Northside, like I grew up on, which like Charles Haughey was thing huge on the north side. We have really good councillors at the moment. Like at the moment we have Tom Brabson, we have Centre Ravel Power, we have Councillor Deirdre Heaney down in Clontarf. I think we should get a seat in the next election. It won't be as easy as people think, but hopefully we will, and be part of renewal, because Dublin Bay North is probably one of the strongest CDCs in Dublin.
Yeah, so traditionally it has been.
Yeah.
What I want to ask you then, Alan, I'll step back slightly. About 10 years ago, maybe just about 12 years ago, when they abolished the dual mandate, and Ivor Calloway, who had a seat as a councillor and he had a seat as a TD, he stepped down from the council and he put in quite a young woman as his replacement. She only was there about 3 months. I'm not going to mention her name. Yeah. But a lovely woman. Yeah. But she realised fairly soon that this wasn't for her. But when she came in, and I was at one of those stations you mentioned at the time, I asked her a very simple question. I thought this was, a soft question I asked her. And her answer really surprised me. And I'm going to ask you the same question. Why did you join Fianna Fáil? Why did you become what was your association? Was it family? Was it historical? And then I'll tell you, after that I'll tell you what her answer was. Yeah.
Okay, Fianna Fáil represents me. First of all, I think we are the true Republican Party. It represents equality for all, regarding most policies, so whatever thing, so it's all self. I've no family connections whatsoever in politics, so basically I have my own interests.
So you would be first generation?
Well, I'm completely first generation, so I just went in itself. I was interested when I was in secondary school. I joined Fianna Fáil, went to local common. Through the CDC I set up over Dublin Bay North, which is the first over unit for Fianna Fáil Northside Dublin. So I went on the ops board as vice chairperson last year. I'm currently the treasurer. I'd be involved from all by-election, local elections as well. So why join Fianna Fáil? Because education as well would have been one of the things as well, and I believe the Fianna Fáil policies have helped me and my family, and have helped others in Dublin, and to represent the fairest way. Yeah.
That's exactly what I would have expected somebody, and I'm not being derogatory. That's exactly what I would have said. In other words, there was a motivation. What this young lady said to me, and I was, I really was speechless when she said it to me. Right. I said, "Why did you join Fianna Fáil?" And I expected her to say all these good things. Yeah. And she said, "For the social life." And I was, and then I realised she suddenly said, because she had gone out over the years with her family, doing letterbox drops, that they had gone on picnics. These were her friends were. And it made perfect sense. Yeah. But I was just surprised at what I would call the honesty of somebody in that sense of the word.
And I'd rather give something back, because that's where I am.
On that basis, and it's when one is in the, as I say, one is in the heat of the kitchen, it's very easy to lose sight of how the, how the diners are going to perceive you. something that I wanted to have a look at is how Fianna Fáil perceive the recent past. And what I'm going to say to you is, I'm talking as a political commentator here. In my eyes, if I was to say to people, if I was to go out there and do a vox pop and say, what does Fianna Fáil represent to you? Does it represent competent economic management, or does it represent corruption and cronyism? I would suggest more people than not would say the latter, rather than competent economic management. If that is the case, it's a massive indictment, and it's put it this way, it's a huge hill to climb. Would you accept that?
It would be. Well, I disagree. Like, at the moment, we have a lot of young candidates coming through already for Fianna Fáil. We're a member-driven party itself, and there's have been a lot of changes in Fianna Fáil. I'm putting my name forward. I've been getting good support around the country. Well, there's many people around the country. Well, we have young good candidates coming throughout, all throughout Dublin. We have for gender equality, there's a women's boot camp that's on this weekend. We're welcome if anyone likes to join. You can contact me or self. We're open. Some people already think Fianna Fáil is a closed shop, so if anyone likes to get involved,
I have a sneaking suspicion that women's boot camp might be.
I
used to turn up that
weekend. Well, that's on the weekend, but the party is setting those certain things to help. So we're making sure we have gender equality, so we're promoting women in the party, we're promoting young people, and we promote all people from all society.
Okay, when I look around, and again I'm talking as a political commentator here, not at local level, because that's we'll come to that one, but I'm seeing an awful lot of the same old faces that were there when the crash happened. You know, whether it's at the leadership, whether it's Willie, I'm not making any judgments about people here, but there's Willie O'D, there's Micheál McGrath, there's Eamon, there's Eamon O'Keefe. There's a lot of old faces there that really, I don't think people are going to be necessarily saying, oh, let's have them back again. On that basis, you'd have to be hoping that Fine Gael falls over, rather than that suddenly Fianna Fáil are going to come back in, in a new suit, sort of thing. How do you feel about that, Alan?
Well, we have experience, and some people can say we might have things, but we have really good people that have experience and to be able to represent us on a national level as well, and have the experience from them past from ministers as well. Yes, people would like new people, new faces, but we always have to have experience as well to run the country correctly and properly.
Okay, let's move on then. You're the generation. Before I go down that path, are you hoping at some stage in, say, the near to mid future to offer yourself for office, offer yourself for selection?
Yes, I would.
Council or TD level?
Council first and then TD.
Yeah. It's probably a bit early at the next general election.
Yeah, it would be at this stage. Yeah, to have to build a base first anyway.
Absolutely. Okay, what I want to then ask is, your generation, you should not be blamed for anything that went before. So I'm going to ask you then, as a new generation coming through, what does your generation, what have you learned in terms of the problems that have gone through, and how do your generation perceive that we don't fall into that pitfall again?
We have made mistakes in the past. We have accepted that we're going to be learning from the mistakes, basically to maybe observe everything as well, make sure we listen to all views of the whole lot, and if someone speaks up against something, make sure we look at it and not ignore it.
I would have said, and this is again, it's more a criticism of the individual, but it's also a criticism of the electorate, in that sense of the word, that I believe, based on what I've observed and what I've seen, is that the last, not the last, but Mr. Ahern bought 3 elections, and that is, as much as anything, the reason we got into this problem. Is that a lesson that Fianna Fáil would take on board? In other words, that you can win elections, but that doesn't necessarily make for good government. Yeah.
You could say that, but the economy was good at the time. You have to look at the European crisis as well, you know. Like you look at Greece at the moment, you look at France, you look even in the UK, they struggle as well. A lot of people in Ireland at the time when it first happened, the crash, we thought it was Ireland, it was Dublin, it was Fianna Fáil was completely to blame, but it was a whole.
Oh, there was a whole series.
It's a whole series of events. As well, like Lehman Brothers went in the US as well, you know. So we can't. It was kind of a global. It was kind of like a domino effect, you know. A small bit, you know.
Okay, well then, just taking a very simple issue. I mean, I would accept that Ireland wasn't unique and Fianna Fáil wasn't unique to Ireland, but. Something that I found, and I'm talking wearing my economist hat here, is that we had all the regulatory mechanisms in place to stop things happening. Mike Williams said it last week, is that it was eminently avoidable. Do Fianna Fáil now perceive itself as a party that is more given to regulation rather than just let the markets do it for us, you know?
Yeah, we would be more looking at kind of regulation. Regulation is better to be there to have checks and the whole lot, you know, because if we have too much for free, we don't want to have something that can happen again, you know, and especially people in negative equity or housing and jobs, and a lot of people in Dublin were affected with that.
Yeah, so, okay, let's move on then, Alan. You're running for the National Executive. What would Alan Bracken bring to the National Executive? What's your selling point? What are you hoping that will make you stand out from the other candidates?
First of all, hard working candidates. I'm involved in I'm from the grassroots. I've worked in all the last two local elections, general election. I'll be down in Roscommon as well. And gave a hand in the by-election in Dublin West and anything itself. I believe everyone should work together as a team. Together everybody achieves more. I want to work with everyone on it, but one of my main goals on it as well is to kind of set up like a forum, Northside, Southside forum, for that all the members can meet more regular for Fianna Fáil in Dublin.
Is this in Dublin?
In Dublin itself,
yes,
and increase the profile of Fianna Fáil in Dublin and members as well.
Okay. Question to ask then is that Dublin almost universally has rejected Fianna Fáil at Dáil level. And in fact, many of those disaffected would appear to have gone across to Sinn Féin, in the sense that Sinn Féin they've got a certain amount of your clothes. How do you think that they can be won back again?
I believe we can run back, because I believe Fianna Fáil is the true Republican Party. We had good progressive policies in the past, and we are the biggest party at local government level. Now coming back to Dublin itself, in the last election, they have one or two good, like Sinn Féin, they have one or two good, like Mary, you have the Mary Lou MacDonald fact as well that may help them. But I believe what happened, someone went to Sinn Féin, was maybe because the crash really happened worse in Dublin itself. There are people in negative equity. Sinn Féin maybe just telling people, promising everything at the end of the day, and I don't know if all the proper policy could be able to deliver at the end of the day, and I believe Fianna Fáil could be more correct and more stable and more better policies for going forward for Dublin. Crime is an issue. There was a crime meeting that was 2 weeks ago out in Castleknock, which was done by Jack Chambers, attended by Dave McGuinness as well. I was out there. We're doing policy workshops across Dublin, so from health, Centre Out Power done one in Negative Extra in Sutton recently. We'll be doing another one in DubBay North as well. So
yeah, the difference between Sinn Féin and the new Sinn Féin, as we say, and Fianna Fáil has been described to me. Sinn Féin have been described as Fianna Fáil with better dress sense. In other words, they're marketing themselves.
Well, they might be marketing themselves. Well, we could go back to the council presentation that was on Saturday, and to represent the people as well. I could be incorrect now, but all the Sinn Féin candidates wore no robes whatsoever. Even the Deputy Lord Mayor Larry O'Toole didn't wear no robes at all. And if they're supposed to be representing the citizens of Dublin, you should have respect for the office
Standards, as
standards for the office that you're in. And I don't think Sinn Féin would have the proper standard. Even I know robes, I know it's a very simple thing, but I think they should have had, especially for Father Peter McVerry and Johnny Giles, you know.
Brother Kevin, you mean?
Well, sorry, Brother Kevin, sorry. Yeah. So Peter McVerry.
Peter McVerry was a couple of, he was recently, he got
recently, sorry.
Yeah. No. Yeah. On that basis then, and this is what I'd like to come back to you on. You've got you and I, when we spoke earlier in the week, we talked about reform, and I was open about it. To me, I wanted to see the Seanad. I thought its days as an undemocratic chamber have long since passed. The quid pro quo to get rid of that, we were supposed to get more councillors, and that was giving better representation. It seems, particularly after this week's meeting in Dublin City Council, we've ended up with the worst of both worlds. In other words, we've still got an unrepresentative Seanad that's pretty much an elite electorate, and we've got what's starting to look like quite an undemocratic Dublin City Council in the way that they're going about their business. Would you like to see reform in that area now, particularly in terms of the Seanad, and how perhaps might we reform that?
Well, reform of the Seanad is involved in democracy matters in the last thing as well. I think every citizen in this country should have entitlement to have one member, one vote. So every election in this country can vote who their senator should be.
Okay.
I think that thing should be done. We shouldn't be allowing people to be selected. I think it should be done the same with like your general as your TDs.
Would you accept it's I'll call it an elitist chamber. I won't say unrepresentative, but an elitist chamber in the sense that only certain people get to vote in it.
Yes,
Yeah.
All
right, let's have a look at an area closer to home, Dublin Bay North. I mean, as we say, it's a new constituency, although it's largely made up of the old Dublin North East. Fianna Fáil are going to have a selection convention coming up probably within the next 6 weeks or so. Looking at the local elections, Donamead, although it was supposedly divided to maximise the return, didn't actually return a great result for you, in the sense that you got one of two candidates. You should have perhaps got both. Clontarf, on the other hand, produced an exceptional result. I mean, we didn't expect... we expected one Fianna Fáil seat. You actually ended up with two, with Councillor Deirdre Heaney and Sean Haughey. Do you think that should be taken into consideration when it comes to selecting your candidate for Dublin Bay North?
I think votes. Tom Brabson got a fantastic vote at Donamead ward. I think it's good to have a base as well. It's going to be Sean Haughey got a really good vote, and so did Deirdre Heaney as well. We're doing a fantastic thing, and that's part of the example of the renewal of Fianna Fáil in Dublin, that we got 2 seats over the 6-seater with Minister Richard Bruton in his heartland, and Aidan O'Riordan as well down there. We are coming to get your seat. Don't worry. I'll be out, and the Fianna Fáil team will be out for. The convention's going to be done by one member, one vote. Deirdre Heaney was the MC of the thing the other night.
The other night, yes, she did an excellent job there.
Excellent job. Sean Haughey was on one of the previous shows here as well, and we have Centre Able Power doing work.
On that basis then, I don't want to get too much involved with politics. If the electorate, and I'm talking about the internal Fianna Fáil electorate, if they go with what is a realistic option, and that is that local candidates, you possibly have a chance. Now, I'm saying that Fianna Fáil are in a dogfight for the 5th seat. That's your best option. However, if what I'm seeing, that you somehow or other go for the celebrity candidate who has a bit of a national profile, I think you're dead in the water. How do you feel about that?
Um,
In other words, that the profile isn't enough to get you votes locally.
well, it's always good to have a local base to be established as well as call. Centre of Power have been doing work nationally. She's recently done the cigarette bill, the electronic adoption bill as well herself. So, but it's got.
I got to put it bluntly. She's a Southsider. Yeah.
Yeah, she could be there.
Northsiders vote.
Yeah, Northsider could.
We
But
vote
she,
for our own.
yeah, but it's going to be selected by one member, one vote. But it'll be it's going to be interesting. And Councillor Deirdre Heaney has been working extremely hard.
Okay.
And same with Sean and Tom and.
It's all to play for, isn't it?
It's all to play for.
Okay, quick plug for party members. Can they get, if they join tomorrow? Could they get to vote?
No, you have to be a member of Fianna Fail for 1 year, and you have to attend to be active and to be attend 2 meetings as well.
And
So
how do they get to join?
Well, you can contact Donal at HQ, donal@fiannafail.ie if you're interested in or you can contact Crystal Bell at fiannafail.ie, or you can contact myself.
Okay, I will. We'll give it. When you look at the webcast, you can see that. Anyway, we have to. We run out of time, unfortunately. Okay. Thanks to Alan Bracken for being a guest in the studio. Big thanks there to Jay and Sean Brophy will be coming up. So don't go anywhere. Take care.